the frick?
AI-powered document editor for non-technical users to build web apps. So we are two ex-design engineer dual experienced in creative software and no-code app builders. So we have been teaching and working with a lot of non-technical users to use existing no-code tools to build apps. But what we have realized is that there is very low participation from actual non-technical users. And that is because the tools currently are too hard for non-technical users because of the mental model. So what the existing tools require users to know are more designed for developers and designers who are used to using creative softwares. But what non-technical users actually know and comfortable with is a document editor. And this is the key insight, and we have experienced that firsthand. And that's why we're introducing this document editor that anyone can build web apps with. If you can use a Google Doc, you can build an app with Ditto. And Ditto will just output professionally designed apps built from your document right away. So with the hackathon over the weekend, we want to focus on design because design is one of the biggest obstacles that non-techies can't really overcome. Because usually they have content for their app, they sort of have a draft in their mind, but they don't have the technical know-how to actually put them into professional designs for their apps.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over the demo that we created over the hackathon. So here we have an example document editor that people will be using to create apps with Ditto. And someone who's using the app has already filled this in with a pricing plan. And this has been completely unstructured, so they've just dumped in the pricing plans with some images, but they haven't made any layout decisions. It's just like a typical document editor. And so we basically wanted to build a team of agents that can take this unstructured data and select a layout to display that in our final app with. So if we hit the generate layout button here, the first agent is essentially going to come up with a rough plan for how this content should be laid out. And it's going to essentially write that out in just a text format, and it's not going to have many details. You can see the output here. It's essentially picked a carousel as the way that this should be displayed, and it's also kind of filled in some of the content that that carousel should contain. Essentially, that plan is handed over to the second agent, and its job is essentially going to take all of the base components that we've pre-built and try and fit the content from the document into those base components, and they're going to become the building blocks that we use to create the final layout. And it's come up with those blocks here, and that's handed over to our third agent, which is essentially the builder agent, and it's going to essentially take those base blocks and the plan that was created by the first agent, and it's going to try and build a layout with that. And we can see the final layout that is created here. And so it's got the carousel, it's added each image into the carousel items, and we've got a text list for all the pricing plans as well. It's fully interactive. And so essentially the final layout is guaranteed. You're never going to get anything just generated on fly or like any hallucinations in your final layout. And you don't have to think about the design process to select the layout from a bunch of options if we had a bunch of layout agents generating different plans.
Oh no, is that me or is that him? Guess we'll find out, eh?
So essentially, that's what we have built over the weekend, and that's just a rough layout that Elliot has explained the workflow. So yeah, so our current product actually has a version live with paid users, and we're actually actively looking for pre-seed funding. Just a plug. So if you know any connection or you are interested in our full pitch deck, feel free to reach out to us here, or just talk to us.
Ditto.ai?
Thank you.
Okay, I'll write that down.
Got 1 minute for questions.
So, why I like the UI. What is the thought process behind having your own doc UI instead of kind of leveraging this existing doc UI like Google Docs or something, and people can kind of like work in there and export from there instead of using
Yeah, so essentially we want to be guaranteeing all of the layout of the final apps. So essentially we want everything that's going to show up in the final app to be in the document editor that people who are designing the apps are using. So all of the components that end up in the final app would be in that. So there's tons of integrations that we have to basically build ourselves to make that happen.
And just to add on, so the UI is something that we want to match the user's mental model, but we want to build essentially why we need our own UI is because we want to embed a team of AI agents that can do a lot of different, it's sort of like attaching like an AI product team into a document editor that can assist our users. So they also enjoyed a lot of the agent features, while the entire workspace is something they're familiar with and they're very comfortable with. Yeah.
I think this is super cool, right? How do you think about long-term comparative differentiation for you? Obviously, you have a great UI UX background, but what prevents others from doing the same thing as well?
I'll answer that the first half. Yeah, so essentially, why now? I think that's very important. It's because of AI tech, it's very mature, that fundamentally changed how people tackle this problem to enable people to create apps. So before AI, a lot of companies built the drag and drop interaction. That is because that's the most natural way at the time to help people build something visually. But with AI, now we have a lot of power. We can solve this problem in a fundamentally different way. So it's quite different from having something like Framer, like that's already drag and drop design, but adding AI feature in. But we are approaching that from an AI first perspective. And that's why our company right now is in a different position on how we are solving this problem over other existing solutions who are adding AI into it. Because essentially the AI can generate a lot of layouts, but the UX, the UI, is not something that's matching the user's mental model. So it's still going to be very hard for them to even just work with the template that's generated by the AI. So we solve that differently with the AI tech that we currently have.
I guess my question is more around, like, agents allows the window to go build this. Like, how do you differentiate yourself long term? Right? Where is the moat coming from? So, like, what is the long term?
Cares about moats.
How do you differentiate if 3 other companies coming out in the next 5 years?
So essentially all of our apps are running on our runtime engine, and so all of the components that you build in our editor have been curated by us and work with this runtime engine. So essentially we've created the two in sync, the document editor and the app runtime, which is completely closed source. So that's what we're building. That's really unique. And people would have to be able to do the same thing that we're doing in that space. They wouldn't be able to just create a document editor without that runtime.
Stupid.
Did I
No,
hear
bad.
that you said
I
that
hate
this
it.
is live already? You've got paying customers who have been
Yeah.
using it. How long have they been using it, and how much are they paying?
So they've been using that for 2 months now. So one of the customers actually they're on a subscription, but also they paid us a contract, one-off payment to develop a certain feature that aligns with our roadmap, so we can later spin that to self-serve for other customers as well. So the initial version right now does really well in terms of lead capturing. So that's one of the success metrics that we're currently tracking with our existing customers, and that's one of the reasons they are paying us for. Yeah, does that answer the question?
It does. And so, which parts were you built over this weekend during this hackathon?
Which is the
So yeah, this whole this whole demo here was built over the weekend. So the whole idea of being able to generate a layout on the fly, that was all new that we built this week.
Got it. So, what are your current customers paying you for?
So they're paying for our current editor, which is this,
Got it.
which has all the logic blocks, all the display blocks, but it doesn't use any generative AI to come up with that layout.
Okay, thank you.
So, and just to add on to your question later, I think one of the, I think how we stay competitive is because we have this experience teaching people with existing tools. So we stay very close to our customer, we understand their pain points, why the current solutions don't work. And we also have experience designing, building creative softwares. So we believe actually our experience and domain expertise in terms of educating users using the current tools could be our biggest advantage going long term.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Team number 2, you're on deck. followed by team number 1. Team number 1, get ready.
Hey everyone, can you guys hear me? First, thanks everyone for listening to us. I'm currently a research scientist working at NVIDIA doing model alignment, and
I'm also like a grad student at NLP.
Yeah, and together we actually extended what we had prior to the hackathon over the weekend, and we'd like to share about what we do. So I guess everyone here is familiar with agents, but I think mentally, most people think of them as task doers for us. Maybe book our flight tickets, do some coding for us. But I think in the long run, as we approach AGI more and more, they're going to be embedded more and more into our lives, and we need to learn how to interact with them and kind of work with them in the long run. And as part of that, what we think is to use what we have right now to simulate human-like generative agents that have similar thinking processes as humans. So for example, they also have emotions, they have basic needs like how tired they are, whether they're lonely, whether they're hungry, as well as how close they feel to other agents. And we feel that that's a big part of doing this simulation that helps us to better be able to interact like more advanced AGI coming into the future. But more importantly, it can also help us to understand more about ourselves, about how we interact with other people, as well as possibly giving applications involving entertainment. Right now, I guess there's a lot of services online. You can talk to, for example, character AI, but beyond talking, just at a dialogue level, people actually want to see how they behave, what they do, what kind of choices they do. So we think this could be a potentially very interesting application towards having them in games, for example, and also having them more like just people maybe watching short form or long form video based on their interaction. So we're going to demo what we have.
So what we did is like we select some like popular American drama. So this one is like Friends, and so here is the character called Joey inside the like Friends drama. So you can see like our humanoid agent, it will like plan their activity based on the personality we put in. So here is the basic needs we have. So it's like hunger, social, energy, and different kind of thing. So it's like a little bit similar to the stimulation games, but we try to use this setting to like stimulate our human-like agents based on it. So you can see right now it's like all like sleeping based on the Joey's personality, maybe a little bit laid back on it. And like after that, like since like Joey is an actress, right? So you can see like it's going to some acting workshop or something, and like it will also like work with other people, and then so it's like all based on the personality and the career that we put inside to try to stimulate. So you can see here, so when there is some other agents inside the same place. So for example, it's like Monica, so like she is like talking with Rachel on some conversation in like Central Park. So for example, it's like, okay, hey Rachel, it's so great to meet you here and something. So all the conversation is had is all like auto-generated based on our framework.
Yeah. So I guess right now, we're kind of like thinking of this is we believe this is more general purpose technology of being able to simulate autonomous agents, and I guess there's a lot of benefit for basic research, understanding how humans relate to each other, how in a group setting. Also for more immediate applications such as gaming NPCs, as well as short form video creation that people like to watch nowadays. So over the weekend, what we did was that we actually so previously what we did was that we had something more static that you can run locally. But over the weekend, what we did was that we made this into a more server client architecture that people can call API and run all of this stuff by just simply calling our server. And we also integrated MindDB. Shout out to the MindDB guys. This was really good. In terms of the OpenAI compatible way to interact with more than 10 or 15 different models. It allows us to iterate and test out various models without changing much of the code, just changing the model name. So we really appreciate that, and we plan to actually continue using MindDB afterwards. Yeah, open to any questions.
How do you plan to monetize this?
Sorry?
How do you plan to monetize this? Or do you plan to make money on this?
Yeah, so I guess what we immediately hope to do, maybe is that we want to make an AI first game, in the sense that we can create a situation, just like some of the Korean game shows like Squid Games, and allow users to interact with them, and which is high dopamine games that people can play, but people can also watch in terms of short-term content on the internet.
Okay, no other questions. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We're ready for team number 1. You are on deck. Mic drop. Team 7, you're on deck.
Hey everybody, we're Nexus AI, and so what we're working on is procurement, and procurement's a problem faced by every business in America. And to highlight the challenges, we put up a real-life case study here. And so what you can see here is we've got a hospital team, an integrated delivery network of 7 procurement officers managing $10 billion of spend across 450 contracts. And these are some of the areas of spend they're managing. And this is an example of all the vendors they have to deal with. But the real vendor set that they're negotiating with on an annualized or biannual basis might be 10x the size of the vendors they actually sign contracts with. In Nexus, what we're doing is building agents to automate this tedious, overwhelming process of thousands of hours of phone calls using agents. So I'll hand it off for the demo.
So this weekend we kind of wanted to play around with voice agents, and this turns out to be a massive business use case. A lot of people have considered inbound voice agent calls, but we're actually focusing more on outbound and kind of trying to automate that part. So the actual demo would take a bit of time, so we've pre-recorded one of the sessions. So here you can see a screen where you can enter information about the vendors you'd like to contact and the part that you want, identified by the SKU. And the voice agent will automatically loop through all the vendors and try to get you the best price from them. So let's play the video. Okay, so I think sound might not be working.
Put a mic close to your speaker.
Yeah. Gmail.com.
Fantastic. Thanks for your time. I'll send the purchase order to OpenAI at mail.com and be back shortly.
See you. Hello. discount, and now it's going to be $200. Yeah, they're available, and we can ship them by end of next week. Yeah, we can. Yeah, it's 123@nexus.ai.
I am curious as to, I really like that voice.
So as you can see, the information has been entered. So we are actually using 2 agents under the hood. One is the procurement agent AI, which is powered by Retail AI and uses an 11 Labs model called Max under the hood. And then we use just an OpenAI prompt to scrape the call transcript and then extract all the information that we need in JSON format. So it gets cleaned up and populated on this table. And one thing that we didn't completely have time to build on the front end is actually like the third agent, which would allow the human agent to select the code that is the best one, and then it would automatically send an email procurement order for that part. So yeah, that's our demo. Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, just sorry, one sec. I forgot to mention that we also like use agent ops for monitoring. Yeah, they're kind of sponsoring this hackathon, so. But it's really helpful because it gives us session level insights of the calls, so you can actually see like the human and AI talk. The time that each entity talks through this, really cool. And also get a full breakdown of the prices. So just wanted to mention that. Yeah.
Nice, good call. What happens if the person goes like completely off the track and say like, hey, like I actually want to buy a dog, whatever. Like, is there an option to get like a human in the loop? And do you folks flag for that? And how do you handle that situation?
So right now, all the guardrails have been prompt engineered in, so it won't let the human like veer way off topic. But yeah, human in the loop would probably be the next logical step. If for example, if the vendor is busy or they need to look something up, keeping the call online.
Yeah, so the other interesting thing that we do to determine the baseline expectation price is actually we do scrape the transcripts of each preceding call. So notice how the call we said, well, that's kind of steep. It's because in the previous call we've set that baseline expectation, the price shouldn't be more than like $300, $400. So very naturally, given that we are able to access the transcripts from each call, we will at least be able to flag it very easily at that step.
About that, how does that work? Is that like you transform into JSON and then like it's data that you access to, or is it more like a reg-like functionality where you're kind of like pieces together from the previous calls that might matter or not?
Yeah, so right now it's more of like a reg-like functionality because when it comes to the retail AI feedback, you're able to scrape each agent response. And so when they mention like price, quantity, those are now inputs that you can pass to the next conversation's system prompts.
Cool, this is like really impressive. Did you guys build this all this weekend?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually meet right before the meeting, the hackathon. So yeah, I didn't know neither of these guys.
So you said you can do both outgoing and incoming calls, right? So a lot of these calls are, for salespeople, are very goal-seeking. You have a set of goals. Like, how do you walk a user through a set of questions to meet an objective, right? And where is this objective coming from, and how do you do that?
Right. So we have a very big prompt. That's the simple answer. You know, like models tend to be very verbose, and they don't really understand that they're supposed to ask very simple questions and keep the user engaged in the call, rather than ranting. So we have to prompt engineer out that in to make sure that, you know, the AI is speaking at a human pace, is asking one question at a time, and we also have a function call window. So the function call is triggered when the agent concludes that they have all the information they need, and that's actually the exit condition for the call.
In terms of a product perspective, I think it's interesting to lean into the idea of the quantity of inbound and outbound calls that people typically have. So we think that this is a really great tool for, even if you are a procurement agent, right? You don't have time to call like hundreds or thousands of people for a particular SKU or a particular set of SKUs, but you can use this tool potentially if you don't want it to be fully automated, to narrow it down to a set of vendors that you can then actually call and have the mind space now to really build deep and meaningful relationships with.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Next team, team number 7, you're up.
Hi, I'm Byron. I wanted to automate the sales outreach. The idea is that I have a crew of agents, and each of them performs some part of the sales outreach workflow. The user would give the company website URL, and then the first agent, the researcher, scans the website, learns about the case studies, the products, and stuff like that, and creates an ICP, Ideal Customer Profile. When that profile is created, it shares with the SDR, Sales Dev Rep, which basically uses the Apollo database to look up for companies and people that fit this ICP. And it finds them, it shares that list with the outreach writer agent, which basically personalizes the messages for LinkedIn and contacts those persons via LinkedIn. And at the end of the day, all of it is updated and logged into the Salesforce CRM. This is the first big part of the workflow. Second workflow is one of the contacts response. The meeting assistant agent creates a memo, personalized memo, how to run the call and have the call. And then it just logs this call into the Salesforce. That's basically it, and let me show you the demo. So it all starts with the website URL. I'll just give them the MindsDB. So now, as you can see, the first agent started working on this. It basically scans the website, learns about the product, case studies mentioned, and stuff like that, and then we'll come up with the ICP and we'll ask for my feedback. So you can see here, basically it scanned the website, the industries. There's a Journey Foods case study on the MindsDB, the Musos, and others. Oops, yeah. And let's say feels right. But focus on financial services companies, mid-scale. So with this human input, the agent will refine the ICP and then pass the information to the sales dev rep. The sales dev rep uses the Apollo database, as you can see here. So it looks for these kind of keywords and finds some companies, FICO, CrowdStrike, something else. And then for each of the companies, it tries to find the right people, again, based on the ICP. As you can see here, I found this person here, Kyra, senior solutions engineer from Databricks, and some other people. As we can see here, I have the email from Apollo database, I have some other information. Feels right. Please continue. I think that the human in the loop is important initially, but then as the agent learns, we can just reduce the number of human inputs. Now it will basically trigger the outreach writer agent. That agent will craft personalized messages and use the Unifile API to actually send the LinkedIn messages. I'm not going to send the real LinkedIn messages to those contacts, but I'm sending from my LinkedIn profile to my fake LinkedIn profile. But it actually sends it. I'll show you in a moment. So as you can see here, here's the Kyra that was just found, and the Louis, and again, this is just me sending to my fake profile just to avoid spam. What happens next is we need to log this into the Salesforce. So we leverage the Salesforce API and create the lead in the Salesforce. Let me show you that. Here's the Kyra, here's the Databricks. Yeah, so this is good, and at the end of the day, we assume that the person responded and the meeting should be scheduled via Zoom. We did just that. I say please continue. It should understand even this kind of writing. Yeah, it does. And the meeting in Zoom will be created. Let's double check. This is the meeting that was created in Zoom for the specific call. And then the meeting assistant prepares a memo how to basically run this call. And just to make sure that we assume that the meeting actually happened. And yeah, I have the Zoom meeting here as an event in the Salesforce. That's basically it, and it cost me only 50 cents, which I think is a pretty good thing for to replace the whole crew, sales crew. At the end of the day, just want to show you the agent ops. So the last session, 3:30, not this one, yeah, this one, 4:39, sorry. Yes, this one. So as you can see here, I basically can see a breakdown of the most costly LLM calls, if we think of this as costly, and then basically debug the ones that take too much tokens and maybe fine-tune the prompts. The tech stack is this Crew.ai, really great framework for multi-agent. I mean, I tried AutoGen a couple of weeks ago. I tried Create yesterday. It's just mind-blowing better than AutoGen. Agent Ops is a great way to monitor MySDB inference endpoint. I used it, but I tried Llama 72B and Claude. It turns out those are not that good in the function calling, I mean the LLMs, but the single kind of entry point to the LLMs, that's great, just changing the name of the model. And these tools I had to develop myself, but assuming there's the API. I mean, I know there is, I know these tools, that's why it was pretty easy. The only one really interesting that I just discovered is this, that actually can send LinkedIn and WhatsApp messages. This was really interesting. I'm still learning about this one. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
So is this all built during the hackathon?
It's not that much. There's this GitHub Copilot thing. that really, I mean, it speeds up. I can show you how it speeds up. Like if I want to add new endpoint, just takes me, I don't know, 30 to 40 seconds, and some tweaking because it does a bad job of guessing the right variable names.
And just a quick one, where do you see the user interface looking like the long term?
Frankly, I hate user interfaces. I mean, I think that, I know this might sound stupid, but I think that we don't need user interfaces. I think the stuff that could be done automatically should be done automatically. We should not expect the person to act. We should expect the person to make decisions. Like here's ICP. You want to make changes to that. And I think the delivery channel could be Telegram, WhatsApp, I mean the messages channels, not the user interface. Maybe for the CRM part, we would still need the interfaces, but the really good question would be, do we actually need CRM in the era of agents doing things? Because it seems like we probably might avoid that, but yeah.
Thank you.
So, a few questions actually. How much time do you spend in the tools versus building the agents?
How much? I think that I'd say tools about 60 to 70%. The agents part, the biggest problem is actually fine-tuning the prompts, not actually coding them. Like for instance, I mean, if you're interested, I can show you that sometimes I had to, oops, sorry. Sometimes I had to like do hacks like this. For instance, for the one of the tasks, I had to explicitly say what are the inputs to the function call. And I think that's because some issues with the LLM, but what I'm trying to say is that yeah, here, you see I say pass action input, link to an URL, and message that's sent LinkedIn. So I was trying, most of the time it's just fine tuning. The actual code is, all is that handled by LLMs and through AI actually. Yeah.
Nice, I like that. Yeah, I think you answered my other questions already about like you build custom tools for everything, including the Salesforce integration. I really like that. All right.
Yeah, good call. Also a pain in the ass. I hate working with Salesforce.
Feedback, right? I think this space is extremely crowded, right? And I think, for example, Outreach has ICP, and Apollo is trying to go into the other space. So I think none of them are using agents. I think it'll be very interesting to see down the road how you can disrupt a lot of these players, right? Because they're all old school SaaS platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
All right, and that's it for demos. Give a big round of applause. All right, so this is the part where we go into the main area and eat pizza while the judges deliberate in the back for nominating which teams get a few $1,000s in prizes and some other neat goodies. So, go enjoy. And one last message from Bibu.
Thanks everyone for we're gonna have winners soon. We're gonna throw up a feedback form soon, so there'll be a QR code. Very basic, very candid. You don't have to give us your name, your email. If you want to, it's optional. Let us know what you thought about the event and whatnot. So that'll be.
It's usually at Swix's other thing too. Oh, is this me again? Fuck my life. No, I think it's that.
Floating around on free.
Yeah, it's definitely them. RIP. I'm tempted, honestly, to take a look at this in PyCharm. I don't know. I guess you can't see what I'm looking at, but external file changes sync might be slow. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I wonder, did they die or what's going on? Take a look. Okay, I think it ended. I assume that it did. Crackle beef supports based. Okay. Well, I guess I can just continue streaming coding because post source. I wonder if that showed up in my comments thing. I don't think it did. Yeah, I'm curious as to. Let me take a look here. If my chats are working. I don't think they are. Test. Let's take a look. And then go over here. Yeah, okay. So I need to open them. There we go. Yeah, it looks like they are getting pizza, yes. Well, in the meantime, I will stream the thing that I am working on after I make sure that after I fix chat, and then after I make sure that I'm not going to leak it, my shit all over the place. It's not quite as exciting as that stuff, although, I don't know, I think it's cool. I wish I would have been more able to get it done faster. I've just, like, really been struggling trying to, like, get myself to actually work on shit. I don't do well without pressure. And then I also don't do well with pressure. I basically just never do well. Okay, so if I go here and then I go live, I should already be live, I would hope. Yes, okay. So let's pop the chat out here. And then hopefully we have Twitch, YouTube, restream, which should catch X, which should. So if I go here, just grab like a random, we're gonna test that too. Test. Any luck? Okay. Yes. Luck. And then I guess what I ought to do is make sure chat. Okay, chat is on screen. We're all good. Yeah, so I wonder, I assume they're gonna do like a winner announcement type deal. That's my assumption. So I guess I will have to like Hawkeye, Alex doing that. Well, actually, since I got here late, I can just do,
your network, especially
from the
regarding
start.
its community and support system. Can you share more about what specific aspects of
And then
YC your
hopefully I
friends
will have
found
fixed
most
some stuff.
beneficial? For example, Did they mention the mentorship, the network, the funding opportunities, or something else?
Yeah, Gary Tan is really good. He, gives a shout out sometimes on Twitter. Things go crazy, that's that kind of stuff. But yeah. We're gonna wrap the call up right now. And what's gonna happen in the background is this AI agent is gonna take your interview and look at all of the interviews that were done on this same particular topic and generate a custom report so that you can have a sense of like what's going on, like how are people actually thinking about this particular topic. So give it about 30 more seconds, but in the meantime, we're going to show you a sample report. So here's a sample report. So you get a sense of like what's actually going on here. So it's actually pulling out quotes from the interview that you did. It's looking at quotes that others have contributed on this particular topic, and it's completely dynamically generated. So it's just for you. So think of this as almost like a personal researcher or a journalist. Just give it
Those are helpful.
10 more seconds. Let me see if this is done. Are we done?
What I'm like.
There we
kind
go.
of
So this was
bummed about
completely based on the conversation that Malai just did. You find that
is like,
I think it's
yeah, there's tons of hackathons all the time over there, but none of it, like, nobody ever
There we go.
gives me the repos. Like, half of
So
this
it's
stuff I wanna
essentially a
fork it
custom
and then,
report
like,
based
throw some stuff
on
on top of there.
whatever you have
but
done. So think of
I
this
don't get
as
that
a way to
opportunity
automate market
to do
research.
so,
It's a new type of
which is
market
why I
intelligence
always make
platform
everyone
with
open
AI
source
agents
all of their
completely
stuff
facilitating
when I
the
read
entire
it.
process end to end. Yep, we're done. How does this work? Are there questions or?
Yeah, so every time a new person provides feedback, how different is that report? Or is it that you have to have 10, 20, 100 people before you can generate the report, and then the report is then static?
Yeah, that's a good question. So over time, the more responses you have, the better the report. But based on what we've seen so far, you need at least 5 transcripts before it becomes something meaningful. Obviously, 1 doesn't get you far. 5 seems to be like the critical threshold before it becomes interesting. Yeah.
Questions?
How are the topics defined for actually have these conversations? Are you setting the topics and then people basically go out and talk them?
So the way it's supposed to work, and I'm going to show you the script that we wrote, it essentially, we actually scrape Reddit, and we take the top 75 posts. So I'm going to show you the script. And then this allows us to find out what are the topics that people are most interested in. And in fact, when we were looking at the Y Combinator subreddit, one of the questions was like things about like, is YC obsessed about pedigree? Like, is YC for me, etc. So that's how we arrive at the topics that are interesting. Over time, what you can also imagine is news could be a pipeline to figure out what people are interested in, so that we can modify the topics and really know what people are thinking about a particular topic.
Were you using any agent frameworks, and were you able to pipe the data back into agent ops?
Yeah. So we did use agent ops, and it was super helpful to just understand what's going on. I'm not saying this in flattery. I was just saying this privately to you too. One of the things that we found out was the ratio between prompt and completion tokens. So that's like a proxy of figuring out how much is the AI talking and how much is the human talking. In our case, we found that the AI was speaking twice as much as the human. So obviously, we need to tweak the prompt to make sure that it's focused on asking questions as opposed to commenting on whatever the user said.
Oh, and sorry, just on the framework that you guys used, did you guys build your own, or did you guys use Crew AI or something like that?
We did not use Crew, we just built our own internally. Yeah.
And what exactly does the agent do?
Yeah. So the agent does a few things in this prototype itself. The agent conducts the interview. After that, the agent processes the interview, because you find that the transcript typically needs to be lightly edited. There are lots of errors in transcriptions. After that, the AI agent looks at other related content in the corpus, and then it writes this dynamic report that's based on whatever you share. Yeah.
How do you ensure the quality of the respondents or the questions, and how do you keep the bar high, disparate enough that you don't get junk over time? Right?
Yeah, so to some extent, there will be some junk, which would be just entertainment value. But I think over time, to answer this more seriously, over time, I think what we're going to do is something. I think there are ways to verify identity anonymously. Think about the way blind, for example, uses email to make sure that you're actually part of that company.
Yes,
I think you can also have a system where users invite others into the community, but after that, everybody's anonymous inside. So if I'm an AI founder, I could invite 20 or 30 other AI founders to have these anonymous conversations within. So this way, I know who I'm selecting into the group. And if somebody really is a nuisance, we should just mute them and keep them out of the group.
This sounds familiar though.
Okay, I think we're done.
Just mute them. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Why was there?
All right, team number 10, you're on deck.
Team 10.
Team number 2 is next.
Team 2, you are after team 10.
All right, cool. Let's start. Hello, my name is Jasper. I'm Elliot. So we're Team Diddle. We're building an AI-powered document editor for non-technical users to build web apps.
Okay.
So we are 2 ex-design engineer dual.
Yeah. Okay, so presumably after pizza there will be more things that are actually new. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, in the meantime, I've been troubleshooting PyCharm. Which is kinda, I don't know why. Like, I would like to be able to use some of these tools. It's just like taking forever. I'm gonna do like maybe 2 or 3 little find the trouble and shoot it instances. And then I will, for now, yeah, and just throw up what I'm working on. In the meantime, while we wait for them to finish eating pizza, who has time to eat food these days? Very strange. Smoothies only. Okay, yeah, I wanted to get, the reason I'm pulling up PyCharm right now is because I want a second opinion from the other tools, because I'm still pretty new to Vim and LSPs and stuff like that in general. So I wanted something that I kind of know how it works to do some debugging. But the thing that I supposedly kind of know how it works is not working very well. So here we are. And then I want to double check and see if I got my access to the thingies, early access program. Yeah, can I check this? Yeah, very nice. Okay. And then, yeah, let's enable that. I now have the workstream pattern engine enabled for a utility that I enjoy using called Pieces. But I just need to double check the docs on that, I think. Or like, yeah, because it's like, can I do a new, let's do a new chat. Generally discuss recent work. Interesting. Oh, so it's just like temporal. Okay. Okay. I need to stop being distracted. Okay. We're gonna do a little bit of finding the trouble and shooting it. I guess I'll like stream that part so that there's something going on in the meantime. Let's do this, properties, that. Help me figure out why PyCharm doesn't work. we're gonna go cd home. I probably need to close PyCharm before I do this. We're gonna rm r PyCharm helpers, Python history. I don't have a PyCharm helpers. That's weird. Oh, I might try writer side sometime. Documentation authoring IDE. Sounds glorious. Okay, so I was gonna delete PyCharm helpers, but I don't have PyCharm helpers, so I assume that's probably what's causing the problem. Let's see. Can I repair IDE? Refresh indexable files. So let's try. We want to, can I set the Python interpreter somewhere? Okay, yeah, updating Python interpreter. Rescan project indexes. Reopen project. Drop shared indexes. Reindex project. Okay, we're gonna invalidate caches and restart. Okay, hopefully that does it. I just clicked all of the buttons. The nice thing about PyCharm is I can just click buttons until stuff starts working. Very handy. Dating Python interpreter still. Wild. Okay, let's see. Do I still have? Let's do ls. Okay. Okay, I still don't have PyCharm helpers. Is it old? Okay. 5 months ago. Okay, is copying your local files to a temp folder, which you define when setting up the SSH interpreter? Oh boy. Well, okay, can I get the debug output that guy has? Hmm. Hmm. Well, I mean, in theory, we just abandon our PyCharm, I guess. It's kind of a bummer. Linux distro Ubuntu. Okay, sure. Sure. I did not. Let's see. Didn't realize Mr. Alex was doing VC stuff these days. Although I guess if any of us are like paying attention to anything, presumably it's good to start relationships with VCs. Yeah, my PyCharm is broken, dog. Broken as fuck. It was quite unfortunate. You need to configure it. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do right now. I could swap over. It could be fun for all of us to troubleshoot this stupid ass thing together. But Yeah, so where is my, yeah, this thing. Okay, so the problem that I'm trying to solve right now is I wonder if you can see it on stream. Look, boop, 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 boop. Dear Lord, what is happening? Okay. So can you, I don't think you can see it on stream, which is kind of annoying. I wonder why that is. It's kind of strange. So if you were looking directly at my stream, or at my screen like I am, you would see that when I configure which interpreter to use, or when I attempt to do that configuration step, what happens is it says updating Python interpreter, and it just hangs forever. So I am looking into other people that have had that same issue, and not really finding anything particularly conclusive. Oh, I just realized you said that 10 minutes ago. Well, I don't know if anybody's still watching and is wondering what I'm doing. I'm trying to, honestly, I'm mostly trying to look at, trying to find the debug output for this so I can figure out what the fuck it's doing. But like going through the logs is not helpful. It's just like repeatedly throwing errors about not being able to find Git. Which I remember looking into that for a while ago, and was like, okay, I don't care if I can't get through IntelliJ, it's fine. But basically, like as usual, my life is hell because I continue to use WSL, and it just doesn't fucking work. Thank you, Bill, for your wonderful developments. I wonder if maybe, can I like clear this out? Database? No. Yeah, it's just sitting there forever. And like when I go through the logs, and I look for like interpreter, there's only one instance of it and it's not relevant. Configure. Okay, username not configured for root, which is fine again. This thing is really mad about the Git situation. It's like constantly checking on that. I wonder if maybe that's like holding things up. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna try downloading Git, though how like it wants me to. It wants me to update to an old version of Git because it keeps trying to use the Git that's in Windows. But yeah, this, do I have like a, yeah, let me get like a terminal. Git has been installed, okay. Cool, cool, cool. And then can I have the thing that's like, yeah, file watchers maybe? I wonder if there's like some initial setup you need to go through that's extra for setting up PyCharm to actually work in WSL. It's fine. Oh, was I not even showing my freaking screen the whole time? Whee! Oh, does it not show when it's minimum? Oh yeah, it doesn't. Annoying. Alex, are you gonna stream again after you guys eat pizza like human people? We'll see, I guess. I care a little bit about the stream itself because my content, but I care far more about trying to get a look at that code, yo. But no, Momote. What if other software developers see my code? That would be horrible. From the remote server with rsync. PyCharm is just copying your local files to a TMP folder, which you define when setting up the SSH interpreter. So there's no like huge files, I don't think. As far as I can tell, at least. This is getting cluttered as fuck though, because I have like 20 tools. Is there like an update or something? No, it's just gonna try and do the git thing again. Yeah, like honestly, like this is why this project has taken so long. It's because my tool chain just keeps getting destroyed. Like so I used to use Cursor, and that was working okay, but then I got frustrated because they kept breaking the WSL version, and then when I was almost all the way through the first iteration of this project, I was trying out Claude Opus, and I figured out that specifically for Opus and not GPT-4, they had a limitation on the context window size, even when you're in the long context mode, and they don't tell you. So Claude was basically just like bullshitting me because he had no context for like the last half of things. So like he was effectively building the ETL pipeline just using like whatever was in his training data as opposed to the documentation of the framework that I was trying to use. And so I was like, fuck this, I'm not using this anymore. So then I started getting into NeoVim, and I used LazyVim, and it took a while to wrap my head around how I was supposed to do things in there, and I'm still kind of like learning about how to set up my LSP properly, and then I just got my assistant plugged in there and functioning. But it would be useful to kind of like use some of the diagnostic tools in PyCharm. But it appears that that is not going to be the case because it brokey. I'm going to do a little more Googling and then I'll give up. Oh, Control F for WSL. 448,000 hits. Yeah, great. Fantastic. Interesting. Try modify. Okay, yeah, I'll swap this over because we have found some interesting information. The U track. Let's see. Let's double check the version here. I'm assuming that I am at least version 2020. Yeah, can I get? No, don't do that. Or that. I just want like a about me. About. There we go. Okay, build pi 241.1. It looks like. Cannot add custom path. 241, yeah, okay. So I don't have to pollute my interpreter path with modules. Okay, so it may be that you can make it work without, or like adding an oh, maybe, what if I do a new, oh yeah, but I can't even add it because it won't connect. Okay. Well, poop. Okay, so no JetBrains tools because their shit is broken. Modifying interpreter paths of a local interpreter. I feel like in theory there should be a way for me to just like jury rig this into working, but I've already like dumped way too much time into trying to figure this out. So fuck it. Okay, I don't know if that's a these people and their eating stuff. Nice. I have so many repos that I found today. Crazy. Okay. Okay, I remember I found a really cool one for AutoGen actually, which I should probably update the little AutoGen handbook with it, because there's a couple of like weird little frameworks that have like default AutoGen integrations, which is pretty cool. Okay, so PyCharm doesn't work. What's our next best one? Do we want VS Code or do we want cursor? That's the question. I think we'll just do both. Fuck it. I'm gonna nuke this real quick. Do I have my idx.dev? Let's do idx.google.com. Yeah. All the IDEs. All of them at the same time. Very funny. Sorry, I gotta check my calendar real quick. Hmm. IDX about configuring one? Sure, buddy. Tell me about this. Oh, this is just Nick's configs. Okay, I don't even know if that's even relevant for me. Cool. Let me get a little bend here. Let me get a little code actions. Okay. Yeah. Let me get a little robot friend here. Yes. Okay, are we indexing now? Alright, cool. Cool. Alright, well, if we can't PyCharm, we can't PyCharm. But we will IDX. See how that goes. Python important. So we should do rough, right? I'm gonna install Trunk. Trunk has like messed with me before, but I'm gonna try again. Alright, what do we got? Bandit Black, Chekhov, Rough, Truffle Hog. Okay. Eyesort and Black. And Bandit? I'm not familiar with Bandit. Pilots. The other one. Okay, well, whatever. Maybe that's fine. Cause I kind of want, like MyPy or something. Like I want strict typing. Oh wait, what? Why? Oh, cause it's old as fuck. Okay. Let me, okay. That'll do it. Okay, so there's no vens, which means that I probably ought to Okay, I think there is a environment manager. It's like that we liked for Python. I do like. Yeah, I guess we'll just use the like default one, I guess. There's pandas too? Is there more pandas than I originally suspected? It's kind of cool. cool. Why do I feel like my linter is not on? Well, we can test it by going, okay. Got it. Super weird. Okay, and then I think I should have an error somewhere, yes. Asset got an unexpected keyword. Output asset type. I thought it was there, but where is it coming from? It's so weird. I'm gonna move that. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go, output asset type. Init pi. Output asset type equals Reddit submissions data frame. Which is in. Where is this? This is. Yeah. Submissions limit. Oh. Well. But that can't be correct because. Okay, now I need to go actually look at what's in Git. This is silly. Oh, is it because I haven't? I feel like I haven't pushed. Yeah, presumably. So where did this thing come from? I'm not sure I need to do that. Like, why? Why am I doing that? Alright, what if I just, let's Gonna try seeing if that does it. Oh, yeah, that does it. Okay. Yeah, I think maybe my assistant was being not quite assistive enough. Type stirpath and function join. Okay. All right. Well, presumably we can launch a run. I did have this working quite some time ago, but in the meantime, I will be right back 1 second. Okay. Presumably. The thing that always messes with me when I'm using this thing is that Like, I have this stuff listed in my thing. Okay, so where is that coming from, the config stuff? Oh, it's over in, okay. And then, okay, let me go to 8,000. Let me just make sure it's actually in the .env, which means I need to make sure I'm not leaking shit. Okay. So I should have a .env, right? I need to make sure I'm not working in there, at least until I commit. So what I would like to make sure of is, yeah, so I have a .env over here. Okay. I guess I should turn this back on. Yeah. Wait a second. Wait a second, I may have just rubber duckied myself. Yeah. Isn't there... Can I have eye sorts? Yeah, eye sort should work. Okay. If you say so. Okay. Alright, cool, that looks good. Okay, and then presumably now we should be okay, right? Why? Why? Guess I should double check, make sure. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like this is the same problem I was stuck on last time I messed with this. But if that's the case, then and definitely getting that. Fuck me, man. Cool. God damn it. Yep, it's because you're not loading the environment variables. This is so dumb. And why? How does... Okay, I have to go look at the docs. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna break for a little bit. That's annoyed the shit out of me. But maybe we'll go back on later. That was like, I'm glad I did something at least. Oh yeah, I should double check and make sure Alex isn't like continuing to stream. So I will if if he's going back on. Nah, okay, cool. We'll call it there then. Yeah, maybe I'll stream a little more like, I don't know, Vim Cody stuff later. Maybe that'll motivate